chains will rise. No more feeling This is Porn Talk. Porn Talk. Porn Talk. Welcome to Porn Talk. This is Powerful Air. This show is not just about breaking addictions. It's not just about porn. It's about breaking belief systems. We have an awesome person here today to help us break some of those belief systems, break some of those beliefs. We have with us someone that's going to help you harness your sexual energy to achieve your biggest dreams by breaking free from addictions that hold you back. Today, I'm excited to introduce Leona Douglass, a powerful shamanic healer with 2 decades of experience helping high performers unlock their potential through holistic healing. And Leona specializes in transforming sexual and personal energy into success by removing limiting beliefs and helping clients embrace their highest selves. With unique techniques like Theta Healing, Reiki, and quantum frequency work, she's here to share how you too can tap into this transformative energy. Please join me in welcoming Leona to the show. Welcome, Leona.
Hey guys, peace. I am so excited to be here as a shamanic energy worker. I have truly enjoyed empowering people and unlocking what lies within us. And I believe that our sexual energy brings in that creativity energy, all that is trapped inside our sacral and root chakras need to be released in order to be able to harness our true potentials. So I have found as a body worker and energy worker working with people that it's kind of a beautiful sacred space that we've created. And I always say that as a massage therapist or an energy healer, when we're in those 4 walls, that creates that sacred space. So it allows people to come and talk and let everything that needs to come out. So I kind of view it as like a hairdresser or personal trainers like I am, or massage therapist. We are like your therapist that you're not having to pay the therapist to talk to because you're talking already in this healing sacred environment. And I have noticed lately the need of my clients to have that sacred space to be able to open up and start talking about things that are going on in their life that's not just in their body, or actually is the energy is trapped so much that it's actually affecting their body. So they're coming in with super tight hips or digestive gut issues, and it's because the locked energy in their root and sacral chakras. So the root chakra, if you're not familiar with it, is actually the root of the essence who we are. That's actually where our foundation of our home, where our money is. Like if you're having money issues, maybe there's some energetic blocks in the root chakra. Or if it goes into the sacral chakra, that's where our creativity and our sexual drive is. So if you're wanting to birth a project, get more creative, tap into that, energy, especially as like the divine feminine, creating that birthing an idea comes from that energy of that sacral chakra. So if you're finding that you're feeling like there's more potential to your money and your creativity and you're feeling blocks, a lot of times I find that some deep rooted issues are happening in those areas. So, are you familiar with chakras there, Eric?
Very. I actually worked at a metaphysical store for many years, and um, yes, very. But a lot of the listeners may not. And so, could you tell the audience what are some of the challenges that come up if you're blocked at your root chakra or your sacral chakra? What's
Yeah,
some of the challenges somebody might have?
absolutely. Well, let's just start off with saying what a chakra is an energy center that lies in our body. And there are seven main chakras. And starting from the root, where your tailbone at the very base of your spine. So if you think you're standing on your 2 feet, that entry point of like if you were a tripod, right there at the base is your root. Then you have your sacral, the second one, which is right around line of like the lower part of like your belly button down. Then you have your solar plexus, which is right at your tummy area. So your root is like the essence of who you are. The sacral is where your creativity and your sexual energy is. Your solar plexus is where your personal power lies. Then we come up here to our heart. So our heart chakra, that's where we love, where compassion, joy, experiencing the good and the bad, right? So grief can lie in the heart chakra. Then you have throat chakra, which is all about communication. So a lot of times people don't realize it, but communicating isn't just speaking, but it's also listening. So how are you listening? How are you showing up? How are you talking, communicating with others? So if you're having a hard time being seen or saying your words or being authentic, something can be happening in that throat chakra. Then we have our third eye, which is our all-knowing, all-seeing eye. This is our intuitive spot. This is where, as energy healers, we like to work from is our intuition to connect in. And then where we connect is that crown chakra. So we always look at it as like a beautiful lotus blossom opening because that's opening to the divine, whatever your source energy of love or light, whatever you call that higher energy from above, we connect with our crown chakra with above. So it's really important that people don't realize that energetically, if these are not in alignment and having the balance of energy coming in and out, it can actually create physical issues. So, and then it can also then create emotional and energetic blocks that then start showing up in your life. So, a good example of if your root chakra is blocked, if your foundation doesn't feel strong, you might have lower back pain physically in your body. You might feel like you're have like an income ceiling where you feel like you can only make this much money because you're not worthy and deserving of more, or you're not creating that open flow of energy to become that money magnet you're designed to be. So if there are any resistance against receiving or giving money with finances, it could be root. Sacral is the one that we're most interested in today because that's where our sexuality lies. That's where our creativity lies. That's where if you're truly thinking about a new project or new passion or desires, whether it's a person or a thing, you know, like an actual project that you're working on for work, you want to have that creative spark. If you're not getting those creative juices going, then it could be the fact that your sacral chakra is blocked or has some emotional trauma that might have happened that needs to be cleared. A lot of our blocks come from trauma, but it doesn't have to necessarily come, but a lot of times it does. So for instance, if there is actual sexual assault or abuse that has happened, people can be closed off in their energy. It's not then safe to feel because this is our feeling energy center. Then that can be blocked off in that area. So we want to be able to clear these so it can be safe to feel, that you can give and receive in feelings and emotions, and that you can spark creativity and energetics and be able to truly get your messaging and your words and your purpose and your power and what you're here in this world as human beings having a being experience to get your message out there. You might not be able to if you can't birth those ideas or those feelings or grab a hold of them because you have those blocks in those areas. So is that
Right.
helpful, Eric?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love how you are using the word birth. I like to use it that way too. It's like we're birthing ideas into the world, birthing projects in the world. It doesn't have to be just birthing children in the world. I love
Right.
that.
Because I am not a mom to say in this life, but I birth creativity, I birth healing and energy, and I support, you know, several, I would say 70 plus clients on a regular basis with my retreats and my body work and my energy work, at any time and space. It's like they are my family, right? And my friends become my soul family. And so we want to have that connection and that creativity and that and in that, and like allowing for my retreats and my master classes and all that I do to be birthed from that place of that creativity. So tapping into it. And then what you said, limiting decisions. So sometimes what has happened is most people don't understand what like an actual limiting decision is. It's something that has been said or told to you so many times that you're programming in your brain, like the neural pathways of our brain, these little ruts that we have, get told that so many times that it creates like this pathway thinking that that is what we're actually in alignment and that's our truth, which a lot of times it isn't. So if you have heard over and over again from your family, let's go to root chakra, that like money is the root of all evil. Well, then are you going to allow money to come in your life? Or have you heard that so many times that now you've programmed, it's now a learned limiting belief that now money is not safe and it's evil. And now we have to clear that out, transmute it, and be able to actually get it to where no, money is an exchange of energy, and I'm worthy and deserving to have an energy exchange. And then it's safe to have that energy exchange because your root chakra is all about safety. So does that kind of make sense of like where people come from? It's like you think all of a sudden, like you've heard it so many times, you think it's yours, but it's not actually yours. It becomes a limiting decision. You decided at some point in your life that money wasn't safe. And then what I do as a practitioner is I actually go back in the quantum like timeline and like remove that emotion or the decision or that belief out and actually clear it so that you can have and create the life that you're designed to have, which we're all
Right.
designed to have money be magnets and have abundance in our life.
Right. But often, like you said, in childhood, maybe we're told, well, money doesn't grow on trees, or,
Right,
or money is the root of all evil, or those rich people are evil.
right. And
But
then
but
all of a
what?
sudden it's a program.
Yeah. But what about sexual issues? So you mentioned early on about something about sexual energy or juices
Yeah, so that's
flowing.
all
What?
in the sacral chakra is all of the sexual energy with our creativity. So if there's any sexual trauma that's happened, a lot of times people will be closed off because then it's now again doesn't feel safe to tap into their emotions to feel because of the trauma. So it takes a very sacred space to hold someone and have the conversation and let them be vulnerable and they feel safe in order to get down to the actual root cause of their issue and be able to pull out. It could be a one-time event that we need to do in the quantum energy field to release that trauma from there and be able to help them be successful going forward.
What if the energy or the juice is flowing too much? They're not, they're addicted to pornography, or they're addicted to compulsive sex, or alcohol, or drugs.
Right. So
Um,
everything is a balance, right? There has to be harmony. So you can have too much energy or not enough. You can shut it off and not tapped into it, or it can be in excess, right? And so it's all about what triggered that excess or that behavior or that type of way. So you really want to be able to, again, have a conversation, get to the root of it. That's part of the root cause coaching that I do. And then the quantum energy release or somatic energy release or the theta healing, or working with the Healy that you see on me now are all ways and tools to be able to actually then bring you back into resonance, into harmony, into balance. Because, I always tell people water is great, right? You want to drink lots of water, but too much water, you can actually have hydrohydrosis and it's actually deadly for you. It's too much, right? So everything creates a balance. So, if for instance, one of my clients, she was having, not the urge, kind of blocked in that area. Once we did the energy release, all of a sudden she's like, oh my God, I feel amazing. I tapped my feminine energy. I feel sexy again. Like I feel confident. She needed to have it upped. But the opposite, if one of your clients come in and they're having, excess of everything and it's on the other end, it can still be an event. It still could be a trauma that can trigger it. It's still the same protocols. We still are going to get to the root cause. We're still going to release whatever is there. And then whatever we're releasing that energy and allowing the good things that they want in their life. And then we instill the idea and the concept of harmony and balance and, kind of like a check and balance system, right? So chakras work whether it's too much or not enough. It needs to all be in resonance and to balance to have harmony in our lives. So great question.
So what would you say to somebody, or how about a real world example? One of your clients, you were telling me about one of your clients that had some sexual challenges.
Right. So as massage therapists, we get talked just like your hairdresser is. And she was saying, I'm not feeling as sexy and confident, with my partners and like, how do I get there? And I was like, well, and I asked some questions like, do you feel the urge? Do you want to? She's like, yeah, sort of, kind of, not really. So it just kind of depends on where they're at. But once you ask the questions and then you start, one of my tools I like to do is muscle testing, and I'll muscle test. Like, is it a fear of commitment? Is it fear of being seen? Is it fear of showing up? Like, you have to get, it's not that she doesn't have a sexual drive. That's the result. That's the behavior of the actual root cause, which is the energy blockage. And it might be that she felt, she doesn't feel confident to be seen. Something in her life happened that, it was not safe to be seen. Maybe she wore a sexy outfit one time and she was ogled over, and then all of a sudden she had these like walls up of like, you can't see me. And now all of a sudden she is not safe to be seen with other people or in their partnership. So does that make sense? I'm not going to use specific client examples because of client patient confidentiality, but I'll just give sort of like examples in general. Something could have triggered in that person to not be seen, and then it's now all of a sudden not safe to be seen. So now how are you going to be sexy and be seen by your partner if you're not feeling seen, wanting to be seen in general, right? So does that kind of make sense?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So, what would you say to someone that comes to you that is hypersexual, that is addicted to pornography?
So
What would
what
you
are
say to
they
that person?
not having in their life that they're satisfied with, that they're having to have external things to satisfy them, right? Because it's ultimately, I would assume that there would be, and then I would say, does that resonate with you? And if it's like, no, I'm satisfied in all areas of life. Okay, so what are you not getting that you didn't have? What inner voice? Is it inner ego, inner critic, inner child? Like, what are your innards that are saying that maybe you're not good enough? And so you don't feel like you could be in a relationship in with a partner, so you have to get satisfied in another way, right? Like, there's always a root cause, so you have to, it starts with a conversation, right? It starts with a conversation. Do they feel worthy? Is it satisfied? There's always a root, and there's specific questions that need to be asked in a specific way for root cause coaching to get down to the emotion, because it all comes from an emotional, either not having or an excess of, or it's not safe to, or this happened, and so this why, and then it becomes a behavior, right? Because what you're talking to is a behavior, not the person, not the qualities and characteristics of a person, not the emotions of a person, but a behavior because of those
Yeah.
emotions.
The challenge comes though is you're saying like you're not your behavior. But what happens is a lot of guys go into traditional recovery programs where they have you say, "Hi, I'm Eric. I'm a sexaholic. I'm powerless over porn. It's been X amount of days since I've acted up." And they say that over and over and over and over, and at every single
And so
meeting they
now
go
they're
to.
creating a new limiting belief in a program for them.
Exactly. They are programming themselves when they look at themselves in the mirror that I'm a sex addict, that I'm a porn addict. And in the beginning, there's some merit there that you do need to acknowledge that. But saying that over and over, guys then start to identify with the problem rather than like what you said, which I love, is you said, that's the behavior. Like the behavior is not the person,
No.
you know. So
And so when we do root cause coaching, it's like, what would you want instead? Like, what would you, that's an identity or label. Well, you don't want to be labeled that. So what would you like to be labeled instead? And then what are the qualities and characteristics of now that new labeled identity that you have? And then how does it make you feel when you see yourself in this new light? And now, if you're feeling this way, what are the new behaviors that you're going to have?
I want to identify as a superhero.
Yes. So if you were going to be a superhero, so a real life example would be what are the qualities and characteristics that you identify as a superhero?
Being bold, brave, confident.
Yes, perfect. And so when you think about a person who is brave and bold and confident, how does that make you feel?
It makes me want to stand tall. It makes me want to breathe deep. It wants to make me look people in the eyes.
Great. So when you think that you need to look someone in the eye and to breathe deeper and to stand tall, how does that make you feel?
Empowered, good, healthy, strong.
Yes. So when you know that you are empowered and healthy and strong, then what do you have? When you have all that, what do you have?
I have the qualities and characteristics of being a superhero.
Great. And when you think of yourself as a superhero, how does that make you feel?
Like I can conquer the world.
Great. So wouldn't you like to be able to have that conquering of the world ability every day?
That would be fantastic.
Wouldn't you like to wake up in the morning and know that you could conquer everything that was on the list and all the things and have time for you?
That would be extraordinary.
So just imagine a life of that when you clear out all that limiting belief of those systems that you created, and then you get to input and download this new version of you as you, because that is already you. You are already that. All those qualities and characteristics lie within you. And you just have to remember that we need to tap into that version of you that's already existing. And then we go, I'm so grateful and thankful that this is already me, that I already have these. And then we ask the creator or the divine or whatever it is with theta healing. So after root cause coaching, you could then go into a theta healing session where I actually clear those and then download with the creator to be able to make sure that you're instilling those qualities, characteristics, and those emotions as you. And then we go into, I'm so grateful and thankful that I have these and that I'm tapped into this empowered superhero version of me. And that I get to choose every day to wake up this empowered superhero version of me.
I am so grateful. I am so thankful that I am bold, brave, confident. The reason why I keep saying bold, brave, confident is because I have my guys come up once we do a lot of work. After we do a lot of work, then we get to a point where we start polishing the gold, what I say, and we come up with a new persona for them,
Yes.
a superhero type of name, and the characteristics that I also have them come up with superhero qualities, like superhero. Where's my brain? They're superhero. They're superpowers, and so
Yeah. Well,
mine are being bold, brave, and
yes.
confident. And I chose
Yes.
those because I was one of those
Yeah.
things.
But it is. I always say, like, our breath is a superpower, meditation, our mind is a superpower. Like, the things that we said and input into our body and our breath of life, it is a superpower. So we all are superheroes in my mind. It's just which one do you identify with? What are you needing? What didn't you have that you needed now? What was suppressed? What parts of you were suppressed that you weren't able to show up because something happened to you? And now you get to remember that you are a divine being of love and light and you're worthy and deserving of all the things, and you can have harmony and be in resonance and be that higher version of you.
In the work that I do with my clients and the work that I've done on myself as my addict self. So, here, maybe we can do, hold on, let's do this. Let's do this with some sound effects. So,
Love it.
so little Eric or little addict self. And by the way, my addict self, I call him Jared. Jared. There's a long story behind that. Jared, what do you need? Well, I need to be seen and I need to be heard because when I was a little boy, my dad always was in his study in the basement, and my mom would jokingly say that she was a widow to books because he was always in the basement of the books. And so I was rarely seen or heard because my dad was always busy. So that's what I need. My addict self, that's me, Jared. I need to be seen. I need to be heard. Well, thank you, Eric. Or thank you, Jared.
I love it, but that's really part of root cause coaching is we ask those questions because you don't know until you tap into it. And then all of a sudden we ask, is it okay for your unconscious mind to release this today and be aware of it consciously? Because consciously we're not aware that this is happening. A lot of this has happened in our unconscious. Most of the trauma has happened in our unconscious mind, and then it's created those programs and those sayings and those beliefs that are now blocking our true potential for us now. And I think that there's different ways of stepping into your creativity, stepping into, your fullness, exploring, what safe, healthy sexuality is, and what feels good for you, and being able to step into that new version of you. For me, I worked on cruise ships and private and charter yachts. It was
Yes,
a fun
I've heard
time.
the stories.
It has
I've
been a
heard
fun
the
time.
stories.
There'll be some books out there one day of it, but that was a place where in my younger years that I got to explore what I liked, what I didn't. It was like a buffet of dating men from all around the world in one place. It was awesome. So you got to explore, see what you want. A lot of people, because of the shoulda, the couldas in societies, people in boxes that they see that is promiscuous or put labels on it. Well, I didn't label myself as that. That's your problem. That's not a me problem. Like, I'm showing this as an exploration or a time to experience something new that I would never get to. So drop the labels, people. They are not serving you, especially us as women. Like, drop the labels, like, step into our power and know that we're worthy and deserving of new experiences and to experience something new. When I started really getting into this energy healing, that I realized that when we started releasing some of these root and sacral chakra, blocks that my clients were having, I was like, what are there ways that people can like tap into this divine energy, to this feminine energy or divine masculine energy? How can we get the kundalini, that energy rising, right? In like healthy,
I love
different
a nice
ways.
plate. I love a delicious plate of kundalini.
Yes.
It's the best Italian. But then I learned actually it's a serpent energy going up
Yeah.
our spine.
Yes. So the Kundalini is this awakened energy that comes from our tailbone. If you see it in ancient Egypt, it's normally the snake wrapped around that like kind of spine stick thing. It's like, so how do we get that internal power? Like through movement, through breath, through yoga, through tantra. And then I started looking into tantra and I was like, huh. So tantra is just not books on like different sex positions, but that's actually like a science and a thing. And tantra actually means oneness. And so oneness with yourself and oneness with another person and having that connection. And then I looked that there's not just tantra, but there's white tantra and red tantra. And red tantra is more of what people are more familiar with, but there's actually white tantra where there is, not even touching involved in the tantric work, but it's breath work and energy work and healing and more kind of like Reiki and moving the body and moving the energy where you're hovering over a person and not actually connecting. So a lot of times people don't realize that Reiki can be done long distance and it can also be in person, but it doesn't even have to touch. It's just being in the energetic body. So I realized that Tantra actually has a white Tantra portion, which is more that energy flow and rising the Kundalini, very similar to kind of like a Reiki healing. So I don't want the, like, again, the labels of this to be like, oh no,
Yeah.
that's not, good, because there's actually so much more power in Tantric work. Now, I'm not an expert on it. I'm just kind of like, I tell people I'm dipping my toes into it, right? So like other spirituality work, when I'm like cacao ceremony, shamanic work, Reiki, Theta, quantum healing, much more, dive deep into it. Tantra, I'm just dipping my toes in and kind of seeing where I might want to explore more. But I did have an experience. Can I tell you about my 40th birthday present to myself?
Please, please.
All right. So those that want to know, there are the Red Tantra practitioners. There are safe practitioners. There are actual legit practitioners. You go in and you get to have a conversation with the practitioner and you get to have an experience of whatever's at your comfort level. So you can stay fully wrapped, you can have not wrapped, you can have oils, like essential oils, you can have massage oils. Like there's like basically like you would go in for a regular massage, a menu of services, but it gets to that tantric energy, kundalini energy, and they are actually certified, so certified tantric practitioners, and helps with that rising of that energy up, because a lot of times we get so stuck down that we forget this energy goes up. So
Mhm.
I went in with the practitioner to have a conversation. I'm like, it's my 40th birthday, I'm very open, I just want to experience it all. And it was a really safe environment because If someone isn't as open as I am, they could have chosen different levels and taken things off. But I was fully okay with like underneath, like no sheet required. I'm okay with my body. I'm okay with all the touch. And it was amazing to have that energy release. So ladies, if you're looking, or gentlemen, to have an experience, find a certified practitioner and experience energy work in that deeper way. Is a great little thing to be able to add to your repertoire of what I would consider self-care and self-love. Because if we're taking time for ourselves to create energy and awareness and movement, like what a beautiful self-care and self-love practice that is, right? And self-love, like for me, I loved all of me. I was very comfortable. But if you're not fully loving yourself and comfortable with it, they will be able to create the experience that fits you best. So I wanted to kind of like take the like hoopla away from it, that it's not scary, it's not safe, they're not certified people, they're not they are certified energy workers, you know, and it look at it as an energy practice, and just allow yourself, your mind to be open, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like so many times we talk about sex and people are just like so closed off, or it has to be this
Mhm.
way, or everything's in a box, right? And then we put
Mhm.
ourselves out the labels on the box. And tell me, you can't see the outside label of a jar if you're inside it. So step yourself out of it, get a different perspective, and see what might feel good, you know, or be an exciting experience for yourself to be able to do. So I think there's lots of ways of energy healing out there, for
Right.
sexual healing, for tapping into that energy to allow, you know, for us to feel free. It's just some modalities resonate with some people and some don't. So,
I,
you
I,
know,
I
never
I
not feel
can't,
comfortable, right? Like it's all about comfort and safety.
I can't help but think of that. Is it a 60s or 70s song that sexual healing?
Yes.
You know that song I'm talking about?
Got some
That's what I'm thinking
sexual
about.
healing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Everything you're
absolutely.
talking about, I love what you're talking about because, like, there's a lot of different ways to approach this rather than just the traditional ways, which are have been proven to be ineffective. And so, step outside the box, try something different. And Dr. Joe Dispenza, who's very popular, he's written a number of books. He's been on in movies or docudramas, and he has a book called "Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself."
Yeah.
And he talks about using, so you're talking about chakras. So how he refers to them, you said this also, you said energy centers. And he says he prefers to refer them to them as energy centers because some people may have a resistance. Like you say chakras, like, oh boy, you know,
Yeah. Again, that label, right? The woo woo
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
You know, it
woo-woo
gets a
stuff.
bad name. I'm like,
Yeah,
stop. It is not bad name. It is not like, there's so much science based in the woo woo healings that people don't even understand. So, yeah, get rid of the stigmas, get rid of the
yeah,
labels.
yeah. And Dr. Joe Dispenza does that by just, he refers to them as energy centers. And he has all kinds of science behind a
He
lot of things
works with the
we're talking
Healy
about.
too.
I'm sorry?
Hmm. Joe Dispenza works with the Healy too, the quantum energy machine that I'm wearing now, that was created by a German physicist that understood that everything was energy. And
So
when
what
our
does it do?
energy is off, we have disease, discomfort, disarray in our life. And this is all about bringing us back into resonance.
So what is that you're wearing?
It's called a Healy, and it's a
Healy?
quantum frequency device. It's the first wearable, usable, portable device.
So
Normally,
this
you'd
has
have to
nothing
go
to
to a
do,
practitioner.
this has nothing to do with those little shoes that kids wore with the wheels on them. I think those are called Heelys.
Yes, the Heelys, because they're on their heel. So Heee. This is Healy, Healy,
Ah,
Healy.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
But Joe
Sounds right.
Dispenza is huge into quantum frequency and energy work. And
Yeah.
he actually works with the Healy as well, I know.
So I interrupted you. So could you continue about what that is and what it does? And
Oh yeah, no. So Joe Dispenza, when he talks about our energy centers, you know, he understands that everything is energy, just like Marcus, the inventor, the German physicist who created the Healy. And so this is the actual first wearable, usable, portable frequency device that in person, I'm having Hertz frequencies put through
oh
my
yeah,
body now,
yeah.
through these microcurrents that are
Okay.
connected to it.
Okay.
And I'm running because I'm recovering from surgery. So I'm recovering from foot and knee surgery. So I use it a lot for physical. So lymphatic circulation, joint and bone recovery. But it also has chakra balancing frequencies here, mind. It's actually FDA approved for chronic and acute pain. It's amazing. But the main thing that spoke to me about it is I understood, like he understood, like I understood that everything is energy, right? And if our energy is off, our energy centers or our energies of our cells, the little molecules of our cells, they vibrate, right? There's a vibration. And that's why there's like bring it your vibrational match, because literally in our body, our cells are vibrating. So if we're a little sluggish, our immune system is down, we're not feeling really great, we're kind of like here. You put the Healy on, it goes doo, 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 and it brings you up. So whatever program, it's supporting your body and being in that vibration. I also tell people that's why you want to be around high vibrational people and bringing in, input. Everything they're inputting in your life is in high vibration. So that also might be a turning point for your clientele that are maybe watching things that are not in a high vibration, because then it lowers their vibration. And so we got to input stuff in the vibration so then you can be a vibrational match for the people, the things, and that you want to be in alignment. Because if you're way down here because you're in this fear, scarcity, addictive, inputting a bunch of yuckiness in your body, you're way down here. And the people that you want to have in your life are way up here. So doing things like energy work and clearing and eating well and drinking water and exercising and using the Healy and devices like this is going to bring you up to that vibrational match so that you can then be in coherence and resonance. And coherence is that heart brain connection, that heart math that we have, that Joe Dispenza talks about a lot, is coherence. And there's actually a program on here that is called coherence, just because it's so important to have that brain heart connection.
I can tell you that pornography destroys coherence, and it absolutely brings down your vibration to this slowest possible realm, because guilt and shame are the very bottom rung of emotions. And it's not possible to have a high frequency, high vibration when you are using pornography.
100%. 100%.
So,
that totally resonates.
So if someone wanted to raise their vibration, what's that device? You connect that device to you, and
yeah, it's actually smartphone operated. So a program is running behind my phone while I'm videoing right now.
Okay.
And it's called the Healy. And so if this amongst all the other types of supplements and wellness and healing things that I have, I always tell people, if I found it and discovered it and it works and it's good, like this is the one thing that helped me through all of my sicknesses and that C word and all the things, like boosted my immune system up. If I have found something that works, it'll be on my website. So empoweringwellness.me, you can see all of the good things, and you can actually watch some videos and learn a little bit more. And then I do a free Healy session for anybody that wants to have an experience with it. I'll do an aura scan and chakra balancing. And then I kind of sometimes if we're really driving, I might throw a little theta healing in there and let you experience other little things, because I want people to have an experience. I'm a very curious person. As an only child, I'm always and what does that do? And let me touch that and let me do this. So as a very curious natured person in general, I want to be able to have that curiosity out there for other people. And if they want to have an experience with me, I am totally fine with doing a 15-20 minute connection call and then being able to set in a mini session so you can experience what it is, so you can actually feel the difference in your body. Because when you feel the vibrations and the energy and the shift, you're never going to want to go back to that low level vibration and those behaviors and patterns that create that emotion once you feel a different state. And that's all it is theta healing is theta brainwave is a state your brain is in, is that state right before sleep, right before awake, in that meditative state of being, right? Is that calm and relaxation where we can actually change those neural pathways in the brain, which is amazing. Yeah. So all of my modalities kind of cohesively mesh together in beautiful awesomeness.
Yeah, it is beautiful awesomeness. And we have a mutual friend, Rebecca, that I've done theta healing through, and I can definitely tell you without any shadow of a doubt, it absolutely raises your vibration, because like I can ride on that vibration, you know, for days, maybe even weeks, depending on what the work that we did. And I find it's kind of like taking a bath. It's not like you just take a bath and say, okay, I'm done. I don't ever have to take a bath or a shower again. It's nice to have more than one, but it does. It works. It works.
I love that analogy because I always say it's like, you're eating healthy because you ate broccoli the one time and that one meal. Like, you do not eat healthy because you had broccoli once. Like, you are not healing if you just have a one-off healing frequency session. Like, that's not it, because life happens. Like, we get bombarded with a bunch of external things. We have our internal battles that are happening, turmoil in our head. Like, it needs to be consistent, just like eating broccoli and your vegetables and fruit is important for eating healthy, right? Like, it's not a one-time event. So I love the
I
idea of
love
a bath.
that.
It's
I
like,
love that
I tell my
analogy
clients,
too.
take an Epsom salt bath, and they do it once. So it's like, no. That's like, every time you get a massage, you need to take the Epsom salt bath with it. Every time you do a healing, you take it afterwards. So yeah, I love that analogy.
Well, I love your analogy of the food. It's like, yeah, I eat healthy. I eat broccoli once. That's awesome. That's awesome.
Right? Like, oh, I ate totally healthy today. I had a salad. Well, I always joke that I eat a salad so that I can have the chocolate cake because it's all about balance.
Yeah. So the input will equal the output, like in the old analogy, the computer analogy, garbage in, garbage out. You put in garbage data, garbage programming, the computer puts out garbage. Same thing with your body. You put in broccoli and healthy things, you have a good result. You put in the hamburgers and the fries and all that junk, you get poor health. Same thing with our minds, right? Like if we're reading, I have a quote that says, reading is to the mind what exercise is to the body. And we might say energy healing is to the mind what exercise is to the body.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all about raising our vibration and our frequency, and the things that you input in are so important. And the reason why fruits and vegetables are so good for us is they actually have a high frequency. Essential oils, certain essential oils like frankincense and rose oil actually have the highest frequency. So when you input that into your body, you're raising it out. Everything that we get inputted in for our body, like our skin is our biggest organ of our body. So anything we put in here, if they're chemically intoxified, they're going to lower vibration, lower immune system, lower our hormones, right? And a lot of times sexual health comes from hormones. So if you're toxifying your body with a bunch of chemicals internally, externally on your skin, environmentally, that's going to lower down your immune system and your hormones. And if your hormones are out of balance, then all your emotions are out of balance, and it goes into this vicious cycle. So I always tell people, like, the more chemical free that we can possibly be, the more things that we can block. Like, even right now, like on the back of my phone, I have an EMF blocker blocking it. I have my like crystals and EMF here. I always have the things to help counteract, to create the balance and harmony in our lives, because our cells want to be healthy and happy and vibrating in a high level. And it's what we're doing and the externals and what we're putting in from what we're seeing, eating, touching, being, that's bringing us down. So remember, we are divine beings of love and light, and we're worthy and deserving of a better experience. And if there is something that is blocking you energetically, physically, that also ends up becoming energetic at the end, when we really look at the root of it, it's raise that vibration, bring in that healthy happiness, bring in community connection, and explore your sexuality in a healthy way. And if you need supported, in this, reach out to the people around you in your community and connection, and don't feel bad about talking about it, like communicating. I love that you're doing this podcast. The more we speak about it, the more we bring positivity, more we bring education. Knowledge is power. The more it's going to keep that vibration and everything going up. So I'm just so grateful that you're having these conversations, Eric, and that you're making sex comfortable for people to talk about, because it needs to feel comfortable for people to talk about in our day of age, for sure.
My
Safe
pleasure.
and comfortable.
My pleasure, Leona, and we are divine beings of light. And if one of the divine beings of light out there would like to get in touch with you, or maybe experience a theta healing session, or some of your other the Healy, do a healing session with you or whatever,
Mhm.
how do they get in touch with you?
Yes, so everything is on my website. My next masterclass is Taming Your Inner Critic. So those inner voices, it's from self-doubt to self-love. because I truly believe that if we are more in resonance in that frequency of love, to come. And I'm giving a free Theta Healing experience talking about inner critic and doing a webinar on it on November 6th. So you can join and you can go to empoweringwellness.me where you can actually see all of my stuff. So just type in empoweringwellness.me. You'll see my next free Theta Healing session and webinar on the inner critic, my next masterclass, which is taming the inner critic, and my next virtual retreat in persons if you're here in Jacksonville, Florida. Will be starting next year once I get done with my recovery and my foot and knee surgery. So I've been doing a lot of online stuff. So most of the things currently will be able to be online, and you can get all of that on my website. So I'm just so excited to be here and to be able to bring some more education and knowledge, which is power, into the world. And hopefully I believe in the ripple effect. And that's what I believe that we're doing here, is creating that ripple effect. If we raise our vibrations, we put in the input, we know how to make a difference in ourselves, and we can create that ripple effect to others. And that will actually go out to the collective and the consciousness. And I always say I'm helping to heal the world, one person, one event, one retreat at a time.
Love it. And what's the web address again?
Empoweringwellness.me, because it's all about you empowering your health and wellness.
Love it. We'll be sure to have the web address in the show notes. And Leona, thank you so much for being here. This was enlightening. It was uplifting. My vibration has been raised, so thank you so much.
Yes.
And we will close by saying thank you for tuning in to this powerful episode of Born Talk. I hope Leona Douglass's insights into harnessing your energy and removing limiting beliefs has inspired you to take the next step towards your highest potential. Remember, true success and fulfillment comes from aligning every part of yourself, mind, body, and spirit. If you're ready to go deeper on your journey or want to connect with Leona, check out the links in the show notes. And as always, keep channeling that powerful energy towards your goals and dreams. Until next time, stay strong, stay focused, and keep striving to become the best version of yourself and to stay powerful.
Woo! Aho!